testing. This time we're comparing a little bit of vehicle vibration noise on this lane, which is a little bit bumpy, and then on the county road, which is a little bit washboardy. And then we'll compare it on the highway. I'm pretty sure I had the washboard there. Pretty sure I had the audio on the camera turned off, had the microphone turned off on my first couple of videos. And so we'll that'll be interesting to see, because presumably with the audio turned off there won't be any sound at all transmitted to the video. So yeah, for what that's worth. One of the things, for what it's worth is there's probably some times, if I ever learn about editing videos, there's probably some times where it would be helpful to make a more professional video, and so have the microphone on the camera turned off and then come back and do a voice overlay, which is certainly something you can do. And we'll see. So we went from bumpy lane to washboardy gravel county road to chip seal county road, which is kind of like pavement. It is pavement, I guess. And now we're on the asphalt pavement of Highway 71. And it looks to me like the audio is turned on. Let's do a little bit of that. That's the edge rumble that they pressed into the asphalt when they redid this a couple of years ago. So I'm doing quite a few different little tests to see how not only the video and but the audio do. In case I missed it on the other one, and in case anybody ever sees and hears this other than myself, the first video I shot was all the way from town out to the ranch, and I talked about narrowing the that was weird. There was that car that was pulled over. There was a girl, not a girl, a grown-up girl, walking around on that big snowdrift, and she fell down. So I'm not the only one. So there. So anyway, this thing has different width of view settings, field of view settings. 170 degrees is the default, and the lens is something along the lines of a fisheye lens, not exactly, but I don't know how else to describe it. So on 170 you get some of those fisheye effects where straight lines tend to bend, like the REA poles. When I was running through the gully the other day, the REA poles looked a little bit bent because of the fisheye effect. So I narrowed it to 140 today, and we'll see what that looks like, if it makes any difference, if it's a noticeable difference, if it's an important difference. Just cutting out a little bit of the field of view. Not sure I need 170 degrees, which is almost everything in front of me. Sometimes that would be very nice to have, but not always. So Just still playing around. Still jabbering like a jabberhead. Brisk and cold west-northwest wind this morning. Typical for January, of course. The forecast this morning predicts that the wind will go down and that we will have much less wind and warmer temperatures tomorrow, which is Sunday, and on Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day. So that'll be nice if it works out, because I'll be able to enjoy some outside activities with a little bit less howling wind. In other words, my personal enjoyment will be elevated to a certain extent, because it's just, being outside is just a lot more enjoyable when there's less wind, regardless of the time of the year, regardless of the temperature. During the winter, of course, it's quite unpleasant when you're outside and getting picked on by a cold wind. During the summer, we frequently get winds, and they're not pleasant either, but they're much less unpleasant than the freezing winds. Go figure.